Well, it's 2:30 in the PM, the time allocated for the Senate plenary sitting on this afternoon, the 16th day of the month of July, the year 2026. This is a live broadcast brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in partnership with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. A warm welcome to you, and we are glad that you're joining us for these proceedings. Currently on your screens, that is inside the Senate chambers, we should be starting to see members of the Senate making their way into the House. I can see the Senator for Kisii, Honorable Richard Onyoka, has already stepped into the chamber. More members should be making their way into the House, and also we should be expecting to see the Speaker's procession also making its way into the chamber in just a short while. However, as we wait for that, we shall take a look at the business that the members of the Senate shall this afternoon be transacting. This afternoon there is a resumption, or the resumption of the debate on the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 bill, a bill originating from the National Assembly and co-sponsored by the Senate. Leader of the majority party, this is the Kenya Roads Board, is coming up for debate. This is resumption of a debate that was interrupted during the Wednesday afternoon sitting, that is yesterday's afternoon sitting. This is a bill that is at its second reading stage, meaning debate on it is currently underway. It is a bill that proposes amendments that include either deletion of a number of sections or a substitution to various sections. There is a deletion of section 47 and substitution of it as that is under the classification of roads. This regards the classification of roads, where it indicates that when a new public road, or where a new public road is established, that a responsible authority or a county government shall submit to the Cabinet Secretary a request in writing for classification of the public road. Now, you will notice that this being a bill originating from the National Assembly affects some of the functions of the county government. For instance, Clause 4 of this amendment proposes the insertion of a new section, that is 47A and 47B, Cap 408, that gives responsibilities to the county governments regarding the management of these particular roads. And some of the functions or the mandates include maintenance, rehabilitation, and development of county roads. There's also the management of road reserves and facilitation of access to roadside developments with respect to county roads. So this is a bill that originates from the National Assembly. However, much as it affects the functions of county governments or the devolved units, it has to be considered by the Senate, that is the House that oversees the functions of the devolved units and also the interest of the county government. So we can see that the Speaker's procession is almost at the entrance into the Senate chambers. The Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Jeffa Kingi, making his way into the House. He will be presiding over this afternoon sitting, the 16th day of July, the year 2026. This is a broadcast that is brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in partnership with KBC. My name is Kamche Menza. Good afternoon.
Na tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, tutakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Tukuomba tuwajalie tuyatenda na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wala ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Clerk, do you have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, can you ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes?
So the prayer has been said and the chair taken. However, there is a quorum hitch, and the speaker has directed that the quorum bell be rung for 10 minutes. Of course, this is as provided for in the House Standing Orders. And that bell is just to alert members of the Senate that there is a quorum hitch and that their presence in the chamber is highly required. So as that particular bell continues, we should be expecting to see more members making their way into the House. And of course, in a short while, that a quorum shall be attained and the business of the day or the sitting of the Senate shall commence. Back to the business that the senators shall this afternoon transact resumption of debates on various bills that had already been considered on the floor of the House. Earlier on, I had indicated to you that the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 bill, a bill originating from the National Assembly, has been lined up for resumption of debate or its debate to resume. It is a bill that is at its second reading stage, and it is a bill that concerns the county governments, affects some of the county government functions. So this is why the Senate also has to be able to consider this particular bill. So it is lined up for its debate to be able to resume. Also, there are around three bills that have been lined up for consideration at the division stage. Of course, this will also be subject to the quorum of the House at the time that this particular business is reached. And of course, these bills include the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, a bill that originates from the National Assembly and co-sponsored by Honorable Senator Catherine Muma, the County Government's Laws Amendment Bill, a bill originating from the Senate and sponsored by the Honorable Senator Abdul Haji, and also the Community Health Promoters Bill originating from the National Assembly and co-sponsored by the Senate leader of the majority party. So these are three bills that have been lined up or scheduled to be considered at the division stage, meaning that debate on them at the second reading stage was concluded, and this particular stage will be giving way for these bills to proceed into the next stage, of course, after that division vote. This afternoon also, the members of the Senate shall consider a motion. This is a motion regarding the proposed regulations on the Traffic School Transport Rules 2026, the Traffic Motor Vehicle Inspection Rules 2026, as well as the National Transport and Safety Authority Operation of Commercial Vehicles Regulations 2026. These are regulations that the Senate's Select Committee on Delegated Legislation considered and presented.
Honorable
Let's listen in.
Now, so we will proceed with the business of this afternoon. Clerk, you may proceed to call the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
The Senate Majority Leader. Senate Majority Leader. Senator for Tharaka Nithi, I thought you would take this opportunity to express your prowess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Thursday, 16 July 2026. The National Treasury Revised Medium-Term Debt Management Strategy, MTDS, for 2025-2026, 2027-2028, and a report of the Auditor General on the performance audit on the provision of bursaries by the county governments of KC. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I lay.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations. Senator Muma, you have 2 notices to give.
Notice of motion, report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on the conferment of the city status to Thika municipality. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on the conferment of city status to Thika municipality laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 15th July 2026, and pursuant to Section 8(6) of the Urban Areas and Cities Act, approves the conferment of city status to Thika municipality. Honorable Speaker, I have a second one. Notice of motion, report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on the cooperation agreement between the national government and the Nairobi City County Government. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on the cooperation agreement between the national government and the Nairobi City County Government laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 15th July 2026.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 52-1, the Honorable Senator Veronica Maina. That statement is dropped. Senator for Taita Taveta County, the Honorable Maruma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to raise a statement on the failure by police officers to intervene in a mob justice incident in Mombasa. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on a matter of national concern, namely the failure by police officers to intervene in a mob justice incident in Mombasa that resulted in the death of Mr. John Kalage Joshua. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the 22nd June 2026, at around 13 hours, Mr. John Kalage Joshua, a 24-year-old male from Marungu Ward, Voi Sub-County in Taita Taveta County, was subjected to mob justice at the Marikiti area of Mombasa County. He was later taken to the Coast General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead by medics. Mr. Speaker, sir, the tragic incident took place in full view of police officers who were present at the scene but failed to intervene. The police officers made no effort to save the life of Mr. Kalage. They waited until his lifeless body was left on the road by his assailants and only came in to transport his body to the hospital. Mr. Speaker, sir, Article 26 of the Constitution guarantees that every person has the right to life. It stipulates that a person shall not be deprived of life intentionally except to the extent authorized by the Constitution or any other written law. Further, Article 50 assures every person the right to fair hearing in the event of a dispute, including the right to be heard and be presumed innocent until proven guilty. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is therefore concerning that police officers who are mandated by the Constitution and statute to uphold these rights and who serve under the clarion call of utumishi kwa wote would stand idly by and watch as an innocent life was taken. Mr. Speaker, sir, mob justice in this country has taken so many lives, including that of Mr. Kalage, who was accused of being Tanzanian and robbing a man of his manhood through witchcraft. Had the police acted promptly, his life would have been saved. Mr. Speaker, sir, the negligence exhibited by police officers in this instance is deeply troubling and must be condemned. Mob justice is a disgrace to the society and must be checked, with police officers taking the front line in curbing this inhuman behavior. The public should be sensitized and advised against taking the law into their own hands. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I call upon the Inspector General of Police to conduct thorough investigation into this matter and ensure that all those found culpable in the death of Mr. John Kalage Joshua, including the negligent police officers, are brought to book. I thank you.
Now, statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, rather. The Senator for Nandi County, the Honorable Samson Chirake. That statement is dropped. The Honorable Crystal Asige. That statement is dropped. The Honorable Senator Hezana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the ongoing security and disarmament operation in Tiati constituency, Baringo County. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the legal basis, objectives, and scope of the ongoing security disarmament operation in Tiati in Baringo County, including details on the specific areas of operation within the constituency, as well as the criteria used in identifying those areas. Secondly, the measures in place to ensure that the security and disarmament operation is conducted in strict conformity with the constitutional and statutory provisions and in a manner that ensures innocent civilians are shielded from harassment and intimidation by security personnel and actual culprits targeted. 3, the mechanisms available for members of the public to report misconduct by security personnel along with the attendant procedures for addressing such complaints. 4, the long-term measures being instituted to sustain the gains of the security and disarmament operation, including details of any planned peace-building and community engagement programs, social economic development initiatives, or upward review of the contingent of security personnel required to be deployed to the concerned areas at any given time. Senator Ezena Lemaletian, thank you.
Senator for Nairobi City County, the Honorable Edwin Sifuna.
Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1. We seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the elevation of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kisumu County to a Level 6 National Teaching and Referral Hospital. Mr. Speaker, the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kisumu was officially gazetted as a Level 6 Teaching and Referral Hospital on 18th June 2025. This transition elevated the facility from county management to a national parastatal under the Ministry of Health, unlocking direct national funding, expanded service delivery, and specialized care. However, county and contracted staff who were expected to be absorbed as parastatal employees with proper job group placement have not yet been confirmed, leaving them disadvantaged in comparison to their counterparts in other Level 6 hospitals. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, the reasons why the JOOTRH staff have not been confirmed officially as parastatal employees with full rights accruing similar to other Level 6 national hospitals in the country. Number 2, whether upon placement of staff in the proper job groups, their salaries will be backdated to the date JOTRH was gazetted as a Level 6 National Teaching and Referral Hospital and the timelines for effecting this. And lastly, Honorable Speaker, whether the facility has a pension scheme for staff, and if not, outline the plans underway to establish one. Thank you, Speaker.
Senator for Kisii County, the Honorable Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, so I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of Labour and Social Welfare on a matter of county-wide concern regarding persistent delays by the county government of Kisii to pay salaries and address the employees' concern. Mr. Speaker, number 1, I would like the committee to look at the biometric report of the audited registered employees of Kisii County and designated roles and responsibility within the county organographic structure and the amount of the wage bill from 2023-2026. Mr. Speaker, number 2, I would seek from the committee a breakdown of the salary arrears by the county government of Kisii to its employees, including details of the months of which the arrears relate to and the reasons for the continued failure by the county government to settle the arrears owed to these workers. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, I'd want the committee to tell us whether the county government has remitted the monthly statutory deductions and other mandatory deductions such as pension contributions and SHA and any other affected statutory deduction for employees despite these salary delays. Number 3, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to interrogate the status of payment of service gratuities for lapsed employment contracts, particularly the employees of the Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital and the workers under the ShowMap program, which is a World Bank project. Mr. Speaker, number 4, I would want the committee to look at what steps have been taken by the county government to resolve the delays in the payment of salaries, the payment of unsettled and outstanding salary arrears, and ensure timely payment of these salaries and these gratuities in the future. Number 5, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to find out when the county government will issue contract extension letters to the employees of KTRH and workers who are working under the SHOMA program, whose contracts lapsed, but who continue to be engaged in the county government, working without formal notification of the terms of their continued service delivery. And finally, Mr. Speaker, I would want the committee to find out whether the county government could consider transitioning some of the employees from short-term contracts to permanent and pensionable terms, particularly the healthcare workers, in order to enhance job security and improve staff morale within the county health facilities of Kisii. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Kisumu County, the Honorable Professor Tom Ojenda. That statement is dropped. Senator for Mombasa County, the Honorable Mwenyehaji Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, nimesimama kwa mujibu wa kanuni za kudumu namba 53(1) ya kanuni za bunge la Senate kuomba kauli kutoka kwa kamati ya usalama wa taifa, ulinzi na uhusiano wa kimataifa kuhusu kutokea mara kwa mara kwa janga la moto katika ofisi za shirika la usambazaji maji na usafi wa mazingira ya Mombasa MAWASCO. Mheshimiwa Spika, kutoka mwaka jana kumetokea visa viwili vya moto katika ofisi za MAWASCO. Mnamo tarehe 10 mwezi Mei mwaka 2025 na moto mkubwa uliteketeza ofisi za MAWASCO. Hivi majuzi tena Mheshimiwa Spika, mnamo tarehe 26 Juni mwezi mwaka 2026 kulitokea kisa kingine cha moto katika ofisi hizo. Katika kauli hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, kamati zingatia yafuatayo: 1, chanzo cha visa vya mara kwa mara vya moto katika ofisi za shirika la usambazaji maji na usafi wa mazingira ya MAWASCO. 2, stakabadhi na mali zilizoteketea katika moto wa tarehe 26 Juni mwaka 2026, ikiambatanishwa na taarifa kuhusu jinsi ambavyo kuteketea huko kwa stakabadhi na mali hiyo kutaathiri utekelezaji kazi katika shirika hilo. 3, sababu za kuchelewa kwa huduma za dharura za kudhibiti moto katika kisa cha hivi karibuni cha tarehe 26 Juni, pamoja na maelezo ya hatua ambazo serikali ya kaunti ya Mombasa inachukua kusuluhisha changamoto zinazochangia kuchelewa huko ili kuboresha huduma za kudhibiti moto kwa ujumla katika siku zijazo. Ya 4, Mheshimiwa Spika, hatua ambazo MAWASCO imechukua ili kuzuia kujirudia tena kwa mikasa ya moto katika ofisi zao. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika. Senator Mohamed Faki Mwenyehaji, County ya Mombasa. Mheshimiwa Spika, niko na taarifa nyingine ya pili.
You may proceed.
Mheshimiwa Spika, nimesimama.
Has it been approved,
It was approved, yes.
Okay, proceed.
Yes. Mheshimiwa Spika, nimesimama kwa mujibu wa kanuni za kudumu 53(1) ya kanuni za kudumu za Seneti kuomba kauli kutoka kwa kamati ya elimu kuhusu uajiri wa wanajamii wa eneo husika katika vyuo vya kitaifa vya ufundi anuai cha Pwani katika kilichoko kaunti ya Mombasa. Katika kauli hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, kamati zingatia yafuatayo: hatua zilizochukuliwa na Wizara ya Elimu kuhakikisha kwamba ajira katika vyuo vya ufundi anuai zinawajumuisha wanajamii wa maeneo husika. 2, mikakati iliyowekwa ili kuwawezesha wanajamii wa maeneo husika kupewa kipaumbele katika ajira, hususan katika nafasi za uongozi wa vyuo vya anuai. Na 3, Mheshimiwa Spika, orodha ya wafanyakazi wa chuo cha kitaifa cha ufundi anuai cha Pwani ikiambatana na kaunti wanazotoka na vyeo wanavyoshikilia. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii.
Now, the statement pursuant to Standing Order 57(1) is deferred. Senator Fernandi, you may proceed to read your statement, your request for statement.
Request for statement, and thank you for that indulgence, Mr. Speaker. Sir, request for statement on the management and effectiveness of county revenue automation systems. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on a matter of nationwide concern regarding the management and effectiveness of county revenue automation systems and their impact on county governments on source revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, sir, county governments have invested substantially public resources in automated revenue collection systems to improve efficiency, accountability, and on-source revenue. However, reports by the Office of the Auditor General and the Commission on Revenue Allocation, CRA, indicate persistent revenue leakages, incomplete implementation of systems automation, limited revenue growth, and concerns over value for money in the procurement of goods and services. These findings raise serious concerns about the prudent financial management, accountability, and effectiveness of county revenue mobilization. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee should address the following. 1, the current status of county revenue automation systems across all counties, including integration of all revenue streams and linkages with the Integrated Financial and Management Information System known as IFMIS. Mr. Speaker, sir, number 2, the total public funds spent on procuring, implementing, and maintaining revenue automation systems since devolution, including commissioning payments to private providers or vendors, and the impact on on-source revenue, value for money, and reduction of revenue collection systems. Mr. Speaker, number 3, the continued concurrent operation of manual and automated revenue collection systems in counties, the effectiveness of measures to cap revenue leakages, and the contractual arrangements governing private service providers, including payment of commissions, data ownership, and security. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, whether the procurement and management of county revenue automation systems complied with applicable procurement and finance laws, the implementation of recommendation by oversight institutions, and any action taken where non-compliance was identified. Mr. Speaker, sir, finally, the policy, legal frameworks, legal reforms, and administrative measures being undertaken by the National Treasury, the Commission on Revenue Allocation, CRA, the Council of Governors, COG, and other relevant agencies to establish minimum standards for county revenue automation systems and strengthen accountability, efficiency, and value for money in county on-source revenue collection. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator for Kisumu County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have a request for statement on the rise in criminal activities attributed to non-functional street lighting in Kisumu County. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on a matter concerning county-wide concern regarding rising security concerns associated with non-functional public street lighting within Kisumu County. While the national government is responsible for internal security, Mr. Speaker, county governments play a complementary role by maintaining public infrastructure that supports public safety. In Kisumu City and in other urban centers, prolonged failure to repair streetlights along roads, walkways, markets, and bus termini has heightened insecurity, disrupted evening economic activities, and hindered effective policing and emergency response. It is therefore necessary, Mr. Speaker, to establish the measures being undertaken to restore and maintain public street lighting as part of efforts to enhance public safety and protect lives and property. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the extent to which non-functional street lighting has contributed to insecurity in Kisumu County, particularly in identified crime-prone areas, and whether the county government and relevant security agencies have undertaken any assessment of the link between inadequate public lighting and criminal activity. 2, the measures being undertaken by the county government to restore and maintain street lighting along county roads, public markets, bus parks, recreational areas, and other public spaces affected by insecurity. 3, whether the county government maintains an inventory of non-functional street lights indicating how long they've remained inoperative, reasons for delay in their replacement, and timelines for restoring functionality. 4, the collaborative measures being undertaken by the county government, the National Police Service, and other relevant agencies to enhance security in areas affected by inadequate street lighting, including increased patrols and other crime prevention initiatives. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, the long-term measures being implemented to ensure that public lighting infrastructure remains functional, sustainable, and responsive to the security needs of residents and businesses across Kisumu County. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I will allow comments on these statements, on the request for statements, for a period of not more than 15 minutes. So if you have an opportunity to speak, kindly do so for not more than 3 minutes. However, before I allow comments, I have this communication to make. Honorable senators, I have a communication to make related to changes in the Senate minority leadership. Honorable senators, via the letter dated 16th of July, 2026, I received correspondence from the Senate minority leader, Senator Justice Retired Stewart Mazayo, EGH, MP, regarding changes in the minority party leadership affecting the office of the Deputy Senate Minority Whip. As you're aware, Standing Order 23.4 provides as follows. A senator elected under paragraph 1 may be removed by a majority of the votes of all senators belonging to the minority party. Further, Standing Order 23.6 states as follows. Upon a decision being made by the minority party under this standing order, the decision of the party shall be communicated to the Speaker in writing, together with the minutes of the meeting at which the decision was made. In the case of the removal of the Senate Minority Leader or the Deputy Senate Minority Leader by the Senate Minority Whip. And B, in the case of the removal of the Senate Minority Whip or the Deputy Senate Minority Whip by the Senate Minority Leader. Now, honorable senators, pursuant to Standing Order 23.6, the said letter from the Senate Minority Leader was accompanied by the following documents. The minutes of the Minority Party meeting dated the 15th of July 2026, which is a record of the proceedings of the meeting together with the resolution, and 2, duly signed list of senators in support of the resolution. From the correspondence, the minutes indicate that a resolution was passed to remove the Deputy Senate Minority Whip, Senator Edwin Sifuna, CBS, MP, in accordance with Standing Order 23.4. The minutes further indicate the minority party elected Senator Eddie Gisheru Okech, MP, to serve as the Deputy Senate Minority Whip in his place pursuant to Standing Order 23.5. Now, honorable senators, Standing Order 23.7, Standing Order 23.7 provides as follows. The Speaker, upon receipt of the decision under paragraph 6, shall verify the correspondence received and deliver a communication to the Senate within 3 sitting days. In this regard, I have verified the correspondence received and hereby communicate that the minority party has effected a change in the office of the Deputy Senate Minority Whip. The new office holder with immediate effect is Senator Eddie Gisheru Okech, MP. I thank you. Now, we're on the comments on the statements that have been made. Senator Manzo. No.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to comment on the statement. I would like to comment on the statement of Senator Faki on Mombasa Technical Institute. Mr. Speaker, I sit in the Committee of National Cohesion, and ordinarily, for every government institution, Mr. Speaker, we've been inspecting and making sure that there is a balance of the gazetted ethnic communities in the country, so that, Mr. Speaker, one institution does not take up only the locals, Mr. Speaker. The unfortunate situation with this institution in Mombasa, the locals have not had an opportunity to serve in their own institution, Mr. Speaker. And from the cohesive nature of things and in balancing of ethnicity in the country, Mr. Speaker, it's been following that whoever person is heading the institution from a different part of the country, they tend to bring in their people and occupy that institution, and the locals, Mr. Speaker, are left without a chance to make use of their own institutions and also enjoy institutions localized to themselves, Mr. Speaker. So I believe this statement will go a long way and will serve as an example to other institutions, so that, Mr. Speaker, the ethnicity of the country is reflected in government institutions in a balanced way. And especially, Mr. Speaker, there has been failure to comply with the law in terms of people with disabilities and an opportunity to serve equally in the Republic as the rest of the people, Mr. Speaker. And at least 5% of every government institution in this Republic, Mr. Speaker, should have accommodated people with disabilities. What ordinarily happens is that, Mr. Speaker, there are all manner of excuses why these people have not yet been accommodated, and the council dealing with the people with a disability a lot of times is not consulted, and I know it has a proper database. There are many Kenyans abled differently, Mr. Speaker, who can be able to serve in different positions in the Republic of Kenya. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to support this and say that when it comes to the committee, then we'll be able to make sure that justice is done. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mundigi.
Asante Bwana Spika kwa kunipa nafasi niweze kuchangia taarifa ya Senator wa Kisii Nyoka, na inashirikiana pamoja na Senator wa Nandi kuhusu mambo ya county, vile wafanyikazi wengi wameteseka, mambo ya alias na mambo mingi, na unakuta hata wengine wafanyikazi ama wale contractor wapati hela wakati wamemaliza kazi, na pia wengi wao contractors wamechotwa mali yao na mambo mingi imefanyika. Na hiyo mambo yote Bwana Speaker imeendelea kufanyika wakati county tunaipatia pesa katika sisi tunawapatia pesa ya kufanya kazi juu ya devolution, Bwana Speaker. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, ningeomba kuweze kutengenezwa kamati iweze kuona ni kwa nini kaunti nyingi watu wengi wapati misahara, wale wengine wanateseka, na pia pesa ya hospitali ama ya retirement ikikatwa haikuangi inapelekwa pahali inavaa. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, ningeomba kuweze kuonekana, kwa sababu hiyo gonjwa imekuwa sio Kisii peke yake, sio Nandi peke yake, hata Embu County. Saa hii ile kitu imeleta shinda ni kwa sababu ya wakati wa zamani kulikuwa na pending bill na wengi bill, hata county tukipatia pesa unakuta hakuna kazi inaendelea juu ya ile mandeni. Kwa hiyo Bwana Speaker, sisi hapa maseneta kutoka mwaka wa 2022 mpaka sasa tunaendelea kupeana Bwana Speaker, tunaendelea kupeana pesa. Kama mwaka hii ile pesa yote tumepeana, mwaka jana tulipeana bilioni 10 na sasa tumepeana zingine bilioni 13. Hizo pesa yote county 47 imepata 487 billion, na unakuta juu ya hiyo matatisho na njia ya accountability aiendelee na njia ile nafaa. Kwa hivyo ningeomba wakati huu Bwana Speaker kuweze kuonekana kama kutatengenezwa kamati iweze kuonekana ni nini ambaye inaleta shinda katika counties, ama ni county ama ni treasury haipeani pesa. Kwa hiyo nikiwa Senator wa Embu County naunga mkono. Asante Bwana Speaker, ni mimi Daktari Mundigi.
Senator Okech.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity. I just wanted to quickly comment about the statement by Senator Edwin Sifuna on the status of staff in Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a serious crisis because, Mr. Speaker, when you go to that hospital, you will experience a serious, problem that the staffers there are experiencing. Mr. Speaker, we have at time without number gone through a number of issues in this house where you have seen even UHRs, universal healthcare workers, suffering serious financial instability. And this is also happening in Jaramogi Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital, Mr. Speaker, because without this financial stability, Mr. Speaker, we cannot guarantee the services and the stability of the services that the staffers there are giving, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, in this statement, given that we have realized that the status was conferred in June of 2025, Mr. Speaker, I don't know how the audit timeline of this also is going to be done, because already is a year gone, and these staffers are experiencing a very serious and stringent rules with audits with the PSC, as well as with salaries and remuneration commission, Mr. Speaker. It would be good if this committee also looks at the issue of how is the year in question being audited with regards to the benefits to this staff, Mr. Speaker. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, I want to categorically say, Mr. Speaker, that it will be very important that the committee also integrates in their search, or rather in their quest to this question, Mr. Speaker, to help us understand what is the then coming up terms of service. Because if the terms of service in this hospital, Mr. Speaker, was based on level 5 hospital terms of services that we have seen in the counties, Mr. Speaker, then how is the new terms of service going to be able to take care of the staffers who perhaps because of qualification or otherwise, where we really need technically advanced people who have not been put there, Mr. Speaker, how are they going to be taken care of with the going stalemate in terms of the salaries and delayed salaries that they haven't found?
Senator Boni.
Mr. Speaker, one sentence on the issue of the Jaramogi Teaching and Referral Hospital. We want us to be fair to the communities of Nyanza and the communities of Western on two accounts. Mr. Speaker, the first one, that the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital and KNH are run by sons and daughters from those communities of Western and Nyanza. A fact. I'm one such a son. The communities of those two areas, running into an excess of 8 million people, have no access to level 5, level 6 services. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind the decision makers, and especially CS Duale, to go and ask the PS or the Director of Medical Services to define to him the meaning and the difference between a level 5 hospital and a level 6 hospital. The services rendered in Kakamega, the services rendered in Nakuru, in Embu, and in Kisumu and Mombasa are not level 5 services. They're level 6. So the former provincial hospitals ought to automatically transit to level 6 hospitals and the government to give the necessary budgetary backup. My last comment, Mr. Speaker, is on the statement by the Senator on the issue of salary arrears. Mr. Speaker, the issue of salary arrears in counties cuts across very many counties. The committee should now make a list of shame to show these governors who are comfortable to enjoy super payments from the county governments, and they don't want nurses, they don't want doctors, they don't want ECD teachers to also enjoy their perks. Why would a man who dreamed of becoming a governor ever think of running a county using the so-called contract staffs? A contract staff cannot apply in professional cases like ECD teachers, in medicine. Contractual staff are people who are usually cleaners, people who slash around. You can afford to give them contract. This Senate must
1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, this Senate must compel these lazy governors so that all doctors, all nurses, all paramedical staff, all ECD teachers in all counties must transit to permanent and pensionable employment. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to make a comment on the statement by Senator Sifuna on elevation of Jaramogi Odinga Hospital, referral hospital to a level 6. Mr. Speaker, when this announcement was made, there was a huge celebration in the region. And I remember some people said that this is the first benefit of being in a broad-based government. But clearly you can see nothing much has happened apart from just the change of the level, which is very, very not proper. Mr. Speaker, most of the hospitals, referral hospitals, are not even compliant to the what we call the health quality model, which is given by the Ministry of Health, that looks at the issues of HR and also issues of equipment and all that. Most of the hospitals are not compliant, including this particular hospital. According to the last audit report by the Office of the Auditor General, this hospital had not complied the requirement for level 5. But still, it was elevated to level 6. So I think there is need for the committee to look at it and see what exactly prompted the government to promote this hospital to level 6. And they have not done what is supposed to be done to make it a proper level 6 hospital. Mr. Speaker, and these are things that we keep on pointing out, that some of these things are done for political reasons without looking at the deeper issues that are required to be looked into. As I finish, Mr. Speaker, because this statement was made by Senator Sifuna, I want to ask Senator Sifuna to remain firm. Whatever changes that have been made, it's unfortunate, but we'll soldier on. We know Senator Khalwale was removed. Now is Senator Sifuna, and a lot of us are going to be removed. It is fine, we'll move on. But we have a bright future coming, and it's coming very soon.
Senator Kisang. Now, Senator Osotsi. If you look at the standing orders, the standing order on relevance. Who has died? Huh? I don't remember losing a senator. I could have made the announcement. My senators are intact. I still have them, so nobody is allowed to mourn. We are all health and in good health. Senator Kisang?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to make comment on the statement raised by Senior Counsel Senator Professor Gender on street lighting. Honorable Speaker, this was a very noble and still a novel idea to ensure that we have street lights in our estates, in our streets, to enhance security. But it looks like, Honorable Speaker, when the idea was mooted initially, it's like between national government and county governments, they did not agree who was going to pay the bills. That is why, after a while, if a bulb is broken, bills are not paid, they get disconnected by Kenya Power, Honorable Speaker. That's why you saw the mess that was there last year between the county government of Nairobi and Kenya Power, because they don't know who are supposed to pay the bills. This is maybe the governors, the Council of Governors and the national government, especially the Ministry of Interior, need to sit down and have an MOU so that they know who is supposed to pay what, and they make an agreement. Because everywhere the president goes, the governors are asking for street lighting, but they are not budgeting for payment of bills, Honorable Speaker. Because this is something that is good. It is enhancing security, it's making our cities, it's making our towns, it's making our estates secure, Honorable Speaker. It's not Kisumu alone, it's across the country. Most of them have just basically been disconnected, or they are no longer working. Honorable Speaker, I also wanted to make comments on salary arrears. If you check, Honorable Speaker, especially in the civic committee where I sit with Osotsi, I don't know if he's scared that it might be removed too soon.
Senator Kisang, stick to the statements you commented.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, statutory deductions, apart from arrears, statutory deductions like pay as you earn, pension funds, Honorable Speaker, the county governments are not remitting these deductions, including even loans, Honorable Speaker. You find that an employee has been deducted, maybe for a SACCO loan or a SACCO savings, and then after a while, they want to go for loans, so they are told your employer has not remitted. Honorable Speaker, they find themselves listed under CRB, and they have already, the salaries have been deducted, Honorable Speaker. This is something that maybe we need to relook at. If an employer has not remitted a deduction, say a loan, Honorable Speaker, that has been taken maybe by a bank, who is supposed to be listed? Is this particular employee who has already been deducted, or we need to find a way of punishing the employer, Honorable Speaker, because it's unfair for the employees, because they have worked for it, they have earned, but basically employers are the ones who are messing up. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
Speaker, it is statements such as the ones that have been requested by Senator Hezena that put me in problems. Because you can imagine that ever since I was born, growing up, we were hearing about disarmament in Baringo and specifically Tiati constituency. And up to today, it is ongoing. I remember when the current deputy president was the internal security minister, he told us that this menace of bandits in Baringo was over. But up to today, you can see that the people of Baringo still have to suffer under this scourge. Listen to the concerns that the senator is raising, Honorable Speaker. Harassment, intimidation, misconduct of the police officers and the army personnel who are involved in this particular disarmament. Why is this happening, Honorable Speaker? When we speak about it, they come for the things that my late father left for me, Honorable Speaker. This is the reason Sifuna is in trouble, in case anybody is wondering. Because the country has a software problem, and we will continue pointing it out. Speaker, the beauty with life is that for as long as you are alive, whatever it is that is taken can be gotten back. So we will continue to speak truth to power. Speaker, the misconduct in the police forces is not just limited in to these disarmament processes. You saw us in Keumbu, Honorable Speaker. The police are so shameless. I would rather you even send police in plain clothes to throw stones. But these days they come in uniform. There's no shame at all, Honorable Speaker. No shame. They come in full uniform, they ride along with the goons, they throw stones themselves. And then you say you have a country because you have built a stadium and named it after Raila. We will say, no, Bwana, this is not the country we want to live in. We have to rescue our country. We have a software problem in this country. We cannot continue to live like this. When are those children in Tiati ever going to see a bright future, Honorable Speaker? If I have grown up all these years hearing about disarmament in Tiati constituency, and up to today it continues to happen. So I don't know what else these people can take. I think there's a Bible verse, Honorable Speaker. It is Jesus who said, when somebody takes your coat, give them even the shirt. Give them even the shirt. I want them to come for my shirt. I am prepared, Honorable Speaker. I take this opportunity to very humbly thank the leadership and the members of the minority side for the cooperation that they've given me. Even the majority side, for the cooperation that they've shown me in the time that I have been Deputy Whip. I congratulate my young brother, the Honorable Senator from Migori, for his new role. You remember, Senator Eddie, how many times I have called you as your whip so that you give us quorum. I am happy that that is now going to be your job, to look for quorum in this house so that we can transact business. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Cheranke.
Mr. Speaker, let me make a comment on the statement by the former SG of ODM and immediate former Deputy Minority Whip of the House. And I'm happy disloyalty has been punished swiftly and heavily, Mr. Speaker. Let me make the following comments.
Senator
One,
Fernandi.
Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fernandi. Senator Fernandi.
Yes, please.
You're out of order, and I'm giving you the first question.
Okay.
Yeah. You proceed with that line, I'll throw you out.
Let me, Mr. Speaker, you know, we are used to such noise. Mr. Speaker, I am, this Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hospital, first we must congratulate the government for elevating, Mr. Speaker, in that region. And the Senator of Kisumu expressed happiness. And the people like Eddie Waira congratulate, this is the first fruit of broad-based government. Mr. Speaker, Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital was overwhelmed. KNH was overwhelmed, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy in this financial year of 2026-2027, 3.93 billion has been allocated to elevation of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hospital, which was formerly known as Russia. Mr. Speaker, it is not rocket science that President William Ruto is the one elevating. We have had 4 presidents. Where were they? But since these gentlemen want to play politics, we'll play when time comes up, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy the maker of the statement is now a proper backbencher. These are the questions that you should ask government, and it is welcome, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I agree there could be challenges in the health sector, Mr. Speaker. Even here in Nairobi, most of the facilities run by county government are doing badly. But the Nairobi senator rather oversight the national government over his primary role of oversighting county government. So you go to Mbagati, it's not a going concern. Go to City Mortuary, the bodies are smelling, Mr. Speaker. We must tell truth, not only to power, but people who should do oversight, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, this matter of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hospital, I want to ask this, my law lecturer, Senator Professor Tom Agenda, through you, Mr. Speaker, that they have opportunity to continue lobby and ensure this hospital is properly elevated. Because, Mr. Speaker, from Nandi County, the border of Nandi County to Kisumu is less than 30 to 40 minutes. So it is also in our interest as Nandi County to ensure that we have access, unlimited access to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, Mr. Speaker. And I'm embarrassed today that one of us is suggesting that since Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Hospital is in Luo Nyanza, that somebody from that region should run it, Mr. Speaker. That is shame. These are the same people who are calling out tribalism, yet they come to the floor of the House, Mr. Speaker, and tell us, since MTRH, Sijui KNH, Mr. Speaker, they should run from those regions. They should be embarrassed.
Order, Senator Onyonka. Senator Onyonka. Very well, Senator. Proceed. Senator Korir. Senator Roba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since the time is limited, I will take the opportunity to comment about Mombasa Water and Sewerage Company. Honorable Speaker, these service providers, as you are aware, you've been there, were formed under devolution in order to enhance service provision and protection of the public and public interest and the safety of the public, both in terms of provision of clean water, as well as also the issues of protecting the resources allocated to them by way of putting the right measures in place. Honorable Speaker, the viability of these water companies need to be tested, both in terms of the entire existence of the water companies is to provide clean, water for usage by households. Honorable Speaker, their own viability need to be tested, need to be evaluated from the perspective of the fact that if a water company that exists in Mombasa or Mandera, we need to look at how many households every quarter are getting connected to reliable, safe water, so that we're able to really determine not that they exist just because it's an exercise, an entity need to be there, into making sure that they are able to provide the services for which they exist to give, which is that of clean drinking water. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, I would like to also congratulate our brother Senator Eddy for this new appointment of, minority whip. His predecessor has done a fantastic job, in the House. As a member of this House, contributed immensely to the debates in this House, as well as also coordination of issues that affect the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, impartially, not as minority or majority, but objectively, wherever it was so required. Honorable Speaker, we all hold positions we hold in transient, and it is just nothing but a process. He should take heart. He has earned our respect, and my brother Senator Eddy, you have a big shoe to fill, and hopefully the role of minority whip or majority whip is a role that is extremely demanding for the functioning of the Senate. I hope and pray that you understand what it calls for, and you'll do the best that is required for the House to function. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Senator Mwenyehaji.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kunipa fursa hii kuchangia taarifa, maombi ya taarifa yaliyoletwa bungeni na Seneta wa Taita, Seneta Mwaruma. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni masikitiko kwamba mwenda zake John Kilage Joshua mwenye umri wa miaka 24 alipoteza maisha yake kupitia kwa mob justice baada ya kutuhumiwa kuwa amepoteza nyeti za mtu mwingine. Mheshimiwa Spika, mambo haya ya kupotea nyeti ni mambo ambayo yalikuwako yamekithiri katika kaunti ya Mombasa na Kwale pamoja na Kilifi, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mambo yote haya yalikuwa ni mambo ya ushirikina na ni mambo ambayo hayawezi kuelezwa kihalisia. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwamba polisi walisimama mtu akishambuliwa mpaka akafa ni jambo la kusikitisha, Mheshimiwa Spika. Na watu kadhaa, japokuwa watu kadhaa, Mheshimiwa Spika, waliokolewa katika hali kama hizo. Mheshimiwa Spika, ipo haja kubwa ya hawa polisi ambao walihusika katika kisa hicho kushtakiwa kwa makosa ya kutozuia uhalifu, kwa sababu mtu kupigwa mpaka kuuliwa, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni makosa makubwa katika sheria, kwa sababu wale waliompiga na wakamua wanapaswa kushtakiwa na mashtaka ya mauaji. Na wale polisi ambao walikuwa wanaangalia kisa kama hichi pia, Mheshimiwa Spika, wanafaa kushtakiwa kwa makosa ili liwe funzo kwa polisi wengine. Mheshimiwa Spika, naona sasa kupitia kwa elimu na pia kupitia kwa baraza zilizofanywa na machifu pamoja na serikali za mitaa, tumeona kwamba masuala haya yameweza kupungua, kwa sababu wengi walikuwa wanaona kwamba ni kweli visa vya ushirikina kama hivi viko, lakini wengi wameweza kuona sasa kwamba sio visa vya kweli. Kwa hivyo sasa watu wameelimika kwamba huwezi kupotea nyeti ati kwa sababu mtu amekushika bega. Mheshimiwa Spika, naunga mkono taarifa hii ya Senator Mwaruma. Asante.
Now, honorable senators, before I give the floor to Senator Wambua, allow me to make this communication, because this school is just about to leave the Senate. Senator for Tharaka Nithi, kindly take your seat. And Senator for Tharaka Nithi, you're out of order. Go back to the bar and bow and take your seat. Now, honorable senators would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 6 teachers and 51 students from Islamia Comprehensive School in Nairobi County, who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Also, I'd wish to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation of members of the National Prayer Breakfast Committee from the Parliament of Uganda. The delegation is in the Senate to gain insights into the functioning of the parliamentary prayer breakfast movement in Kenya, while also strengthening fellowship and continued engagement through sharing of experiences and lessons learned over the years. Now, honorable senators, these are the members of parliament from Uganda comprising of this delegation are Honorable Tom Bright Amoti, a member of parliament, the Honorable Aogon Silas, MP. Now, on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to them and wish them a fruitful and enriching visit. I will ask the Senator from Makueni to welcome both delegations.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to welcome the school and also welcome the 2 members of Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Cyrus is now serving his 20th year in the Parliament of Uganda, and his colleague, 15th year. There are 2 other members who are not with them. They came 4 of them, Mr. Speaker, yesterday. There is the Honorable Ndakasi, who is the current chair of the National Prayer Breakfast in Uganda. Mr. Speaker, you remember, during the last prayer breakfast in Kenya, a huge delegation came and fellowshipped with us, and similarly, Uganda invites us every 8th of October to attend their National Prayer Breakfast. Mr. Speaker, I also welcome the students and hope that they are going to learn and also get encouraged and inspired so that one day they could also be representatives of the people and can be in the Senate or National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to make my comments on 2 statements. One statement by Senator Sifuna on the upgrading of the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kisumu to level 6. Speaker, as Senator Alwale has suggested, first things first, let the staff of the facility enjoy the full benefits of the new status of that facility. That way then, we will be talking about accruing benefits to the people. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, a consideration should be made that all former provincial hospitals then be elevated to level 6 facilities so that they serve people from the regions that they're established. That will be a policy decision that will help this country now and into the future. The Speaker, on the statement by the Senator Ezena Lemalatian on insecurity in Tiati. Mr. Speaker, as a country and as representatives of the people in this country, we must call ourselves to order and begin to speak truth to power, irrespective. I say this because we are playing with fire as a country. Mr. Speaker, I see outlaws walking around with police officers, And for as long as that is happening for the convenience of a political side, it is okay. The Speaker, I want to bring to the attention of this House, and I wish the Senator for Tana River was here. A few weeks ago, bandits in Tana River killed an officer commanding a police station. Now, the Speaker, if OCSs are not safe in the hands of bandits, who is going to be safe in this country? The Speaker, that issue of bandits in Tiati, in other regions in this country, is a matter that should prick our conscience and make us act shiftily. The Speaker, on the matter of my friend, my colleague, my brother, Senator Sifuna, allow me to say this, Mr. Speaker. This Senate is producing a star in the name and character of Senator Sifuna. I want to ask my brother not to look back, to soldier on. The future.
Senator Muthama.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to the statements. One, the statement from Senator Onyonka Kisii about delayed of salaries for count workers. Mr. Speaker, this is a big problem in almost all the counties, because like in the count of Machakos, the count assembly of Machakos staff has not been paid for months now. And Mr. Speaker, I have employees of Machakos who are employed, and they have appointment letters, and I've done a statement in this Senate, which has really been delayed to be discussed, who were employed in Machakos in 2023, and to date, they have not received even a single salary, and they go to work every day. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what's really happening with the counties, because they receive money, and we fight for the monies for the counties in this Senate so much, and they receive this money and they do other things with them. And the staff who are serving in the counties, who are enabling the governors to deliver, they are never paid money. These people are living in rented houses. They have children to take to school. They have children to take to hospital and buy food. And I don't know what the governors are thinking about this staff. Mr. Speaker, this should stop. And I think as a Senate, as a House which defends the counties, we should do something about the staff of the counties. Two, on the statement from Senator Ezena about security. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why we should not have security in this country. Some people are living like they are not living in Kenya and like there's no government in Kenya, and yet they should be protected. The law is very clear and the Constitution is very clear that every citizen of this country has a right to be protected by the government. And so when we are hearing of these killings and insecurity, we wonder, where is the government? What is the government of Kenya doing about its citizens? We need security. Every Kenyan's life counts. And we should not hear of Kenyans being killed anyhowly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to comment on the statement by the Senator for Kisii, Senator Onyonka, on the question of delayed salaries. Mr. Speaker, as has been stated, Mr. Speaker, it is common ground that counties are struggling with two things. Mr. Speaker, most counties with the ability to raise on-source revenue are not able to live up to the standards expected of them. But number two, Mr. Speaker, as a consequence, we have delayed salaries out of delays of remittances from the exchequer, but also out of, Mr. Speaker, certain frameworks that are not clear to understand, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, of particular concern, Mr. Speaker, and I relate to the statements by the senator. We have a county, Mr. Speaker, like Kisumu, my county, number 42, where, Mr. Speaker, county workers have not been paid for 2 months. And it is only, Mr. Speaker, after the county workers union negotiated with the county that they were able to pay a salary of 1 month. That exposes, Mr. Speaker, the workers not only to suffering, but to embarrassment because they are unable to meet basic needs, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, most counties are also unable to pay crucial workers, Mr. Speaker. In my own county, Mr. Speaker, we have village admins who have not been paid by the county for over 2 years and who now have a court case against the county that remains unresolved. Mr. Speaker, counties must hire only labor that they can afford, and that is a framework of oversight, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, lastly, a category of workers that are suffered in the counties are the community health providers. These are in the periphery of those who have been neglected by most counties, though they earn only an allowance of 2,500 shillings. We need, Mr. Speaker, to rise up and legislate to create an obligation on counties to provide some form of remuneration to community health providers so that they are also able to contribute, because they play a big role, Mr. Speaker, in helping our communities and in upholding primary and preventive health care in our counties. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to comment on the statement by the Senator of Nairobi in regards to the elevation of the Jaramogi Oginga. Mr. Speaker, what catches my attention is on what the committee should address. One of the key issues being that the staff have not been confirmed officially as parasocial employees, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, for a hospital to be upgraded to level 6, it has done what it needs to be done for it to be at that particular level, with the aim of ensuring that the people from these particular regions, apart from the Kisumu, but even the adjacent regions, can be able to maximally get the referral services that they need. Mr. Speaker, last month before we embarked on our recess, through the Committee of Finance that I serve, we were able to put 8.9 billion through SIGA for UHC workers, Mr. Speaker. And with that effort, a matter that had also been brought to my Committee of Health that I serve as well, on the arrears of our UHC workers and the other issues of them not being able to be absorbed at the county level on permanent and pensionable terms, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you find that these issues are repeating themselves. And I would want to urge all the 47 governors, the Senate has done its part in ensuring that these funds are available through SIGA so that our UHC workers' arrears are sorted, but at the same time, our UHC workers also deserve an employment that is permanent and pensionable. They've served this country diligently, especially from the time of COVID, Mr. Speaker. So it is fair, it is indeed very fair for them to be given a permanent opportunity. And this responsibility lies with the governors. It is the high time, governors, to address the issue and address this issue quickly, because we've done our part, the monies are available, and this, even the issue that is here within Jaramogi, the staff should be, sorted immediately. The gazettement should be, done of the same hospital, Mr. Speaker, so that our people have the motivation to continue working and delivering services as required. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, allow me also to comment on the statement by Senator Sifuna regarding the elevation of Jaramogi Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital to level 6 National Referral Hospital. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank Senator Sifuna for raising this. This is truly what a national leader does, that you don't just raise matters relating to your backyard. Mr. Speaker, it was with great pride that we, the leaders from Nyanza region, received news that that particular facility was to be upgraded to a level 6 hospital. This statement request, I believe, should add value and should fast track the transition process and should not be used to criticize that very historical move. Mr. Speaker, since independence, there is no space that has exposed marginalization more than the medical space. Mr. Speaker, since independence, most of the level 6 hospitals in Kenya have been concentrated within 50 miles of the capital city of Nairobi. Before Jaramogi Oginga was added as a level 6 hospital, the level 6 hospitals we had in Kenya was Kenyatta National Hospital here in Nairobi, Mathare Hospital here in Nairobi, Spinal Injury Hospital here in Nairobi, Nakuru Level 6 Hospital not too far from Nairobi, and KU Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kiambu. Mr. Speaker, the elevation of Jaramogi Oginga should not be the end. We must also see a level 6 hospital in the coast region, a level 6 hospital in the western region, in all regions of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, we welcome this because it will enhance financing for healthcare. For a long time, people from Homa Bay, people from Kisumu, Siaya, and that particular area, we've been going to Eldoret. And when you have a sick parent who has to go for cancer treatment, or who has to go for advanced dialysis or advanced care, and you have to go to a foreign town, Mr. Speaker, you realize that the cost of taking care of the patient is almost equal to or exceeds the cost that the patient pays in hospital. Mr. Speaker, I want to welcome this move, that we celebrate it, and it is not something that should be politicized. When Jaramogi becomes a parastatal, we are sure that it will receive more focused attention, as opposed to when it is run as a department under the health directorate or under the health ministry. So, Mr. Speaker, I hope that as the committee prosecutes this matter, it will unlock and it will fast track this transition, and it will make recommendations to ensure that there's appropriate budgetary allocation to take care of the staff, to take care of facilities, and to see to it that whereas hospitals, level 6 hospitals like Kenyatta are getting 8 billion, we can also scale it up. But ultimately, let's ensure that all the traditional 9 regions of Kenya have a level 6 hospital, and they are not just concentrated around the mountain. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Mr. Speaker, I wanted to, just like my colleagues have raised this issue about the medical facilities that are within our regions. The truth is, just like I've heard my brother Kajwang has spoken, it is actually, Mr. Speaker, embarrassing to have that hospital be in the condition and the state it is. But in reality, most of the health facilities in our regions are all the same. There are no medicines. You have the technical personnel who are supposed to work in these hospitals. They are either victimized. Some of them are on strike right now. There were CBOs which were signed. They are not being honored. Governors are collecting all source revenue from the hospital facilities and claiming that is what they are collecting, and yet in reality, that is money that is supposed to be used in improving these facilities and making sure they function. I would like, on my own volition as a senator of Kisii and a colleague in this house, to ask my colleagues. And Mr. Speaker, I'm very lucky to be in the health committee with members like Honorable Thabita, who is my colleague in that committee. Honestly, we must agree what we are going to do with the health sector, because some facilities are being handed over to the government, and the government is providing grants, and yet some of our facilities, like the Kisii Level 6 hospital, has nothing. It is actually partially closed. There are no medicines, there is no running water. I mean, everything, Mr. Speaker, seems to be going wrong. So I'm feeling that we need to see it as the Committee of Health and interrogate, do we make a deliberate decision, Mr. Speaker, to then ask the government to take over all the level 6 hospitals, if that is what it means for these facilities to be functional? Because it looks like we are doing it in piecemeal. We took Kakamega, again, a beautiful hospital which was done by the previous governor, Honorable Paranya. If you see it, Mr. Speaker, it's an amazing facility. Yes, the national government has provided, I believe, something like 3 billion shillings. If it's finished, that hospital would treat more than 2-3 million shillings a year, 2-3 million people a year. Then now we are at Jaramogi. I know that we are having the same issue in Trans Nzoia County. So I'm like, why don't we sit and call the governors and ask them if they are willing to relinquish the management of these level 6 hospitals with the national government and see how best that can be done. If not, because these are devolved functions, then can we sit with our governors?
1 minute, if you're not done, to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was saying that if we find that that is an option they wouldn't accept, then why don't we sit and ask our governors how they would want us to solve the problems? Because there are too many, and the facilities are all of them becoming dysfunctional. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mazayo.
Asante mstahiki Spika kwa kunipa nafasi hii kuchangia. Taarifa ya ndugu yetu Senator wa Taita Taveta, ndugu yangu Mwaruba. Jambo la kwanza ni jambo la kusikitisha kwamba Mkenya leo anaweza kupoteza maisha yake kwa sababu ya vitu visipojulikana, kama kusalimiana alafu na ambao umepoteza sehemu za nyeti, ambao ni jambo la ajabu. Lakini ikiwa mazingaumbwe kama hayo yako, ambao mimi naamini kwamba hakuna, kule kwetu kama Kilifi, wazee wetu wakiwa wamekuwa wazee na nyele zimekuwa nyeupe, saa nyingine pia utapata kitendo kama hicho kilichotendeka hapo Mwembe Tayari karibu na soko lile la zamani, kinatendeka kwa huyo mzee. Kwa sababu akisema ako na nyele nyeupe, wanasema ni kwa nini hajakufa, ama ni kwa nini yeye anaendelea kuishi ilhali watoto wadogo pengine kwa sababu ya ugonjwa ama mengine yamewakumba wamepoteza maisha, wanasema ni kwa sababu huyo mzee bado yuko hai. Na vile vile huyo mzee pia huwa saa nyingine anapigwa mpaka anaweza kuuawa kwa njia zozote, akapoteza maisha. Ni jambo la kusikitisha kwamba Kenya yetu hii iko na askari, na ni jambo la kusikitisha vile vile kuona kwamba askari wanaweza kusimama kando wakaangalia Mkenya anapigwa mpaka mwisho anatolewa uhai. Kazi yao wao ni kuchukua mwili na kuweka kwa gari na kupeleka hospitali. Mimi nataka kuuliza swali moja. Wewe ulipewa bunduki, ulipewa uwezo wote wa kuweza kuchukua hatua ili kuona ya kwamba umetetea maisha ya mtu. Leo umesimama kando, unawacha maisha ya mtu yanatolewa. Hapo Bwana Spika, mimi naona wale mapolisi wawili ambao waliweza kutambulika wako ndani ya video, wako ndani ya wanaolikana, kuna ushahidi wa kutosha na mashahidi wako wamejitolea. Mimi naona ingekuwa jambo zuri ya kwamba ikiwa huyu IG yuko pale, kitendo kama hichi ni lazima IPOA ingie katikati, waweze kushikwa hawa watu waliofanya kitendo cha kinyama kama hichi, ili iwe funzo kwa wale wengine ya kwamba wanaweza kutoa uhai ama kuua mtu bila dhulma yoyote, na kumtoa uhai na alafu kwenda zao nyumbani wakiwa wanaketi na familia zao na watu wengine kule wanalia ya kwamba mtu ametolewa uhai bila kisheria. Cha pili ni kwamba vile vile tunataka askari wetu ambao wanachukua pesa nyingi sana wakifundishwa waweze kuona ya kwamba wao ndio watetezi.
Aya, 1:30.
Asante shemegi yangu. Ni ukweli kabisa ya kwamba hawa vijana wetu ambao tunawapeleka kule Kiganjo wakasomee, wakisoma shughuli yao ya kwanza ambayo inatakana waitekeleze ni kwamba watatetea uhai wa kila Mkenya bila upendeleo wa aina yoyote. Asante Bwana Spika.
Okay, I think that is the end of the comments on statements. So we go to the next one, Clerk.
Order number 8, motion, consideration of a report of the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on its consideration of a petition to the Senate by Mr. Laban Omusundi regarding the enactment of a legal framework to provide for recall of the president or a governor through a citizen initiative. Question to be put.
Yes, the debate on this motion was concluded, and now we need to put the question, but confirm whether you have quorum. Okay, then the putting of the question is deferred. We'll go to the next order.
Order number 9, the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bills number 34 of 2025. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 15th July 2026. Second reading.
Yes, this on this motion, any member can start giving his contribution. We start with Senator Ombua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I see the Senator for Bomet is raising an issue. I don't know what the issue would be, but I think he will approach the chair or something.
But I'm wondering whether now the Senator for Kitui is the one chairing the House. But he's giving you an opportunity to raise your issue.
No, I did not give an opportunity to speak. I just said that I see him.
And then also you stand up to raise that matter that you had. Proceed, Senator Ombua.
Thank you,
And
Mr. Speaker.
Recognize you are not the chair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do recognize that I'm not the chair. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to make what I would consider important comments on this bill, the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill from the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I sit in the Roads Committee, and so I've had opportunity to interact with the bill as brought to us by the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, when the matter came up yesterday for second reading, I listened and followed comments from members. And I got the impression, Mr. Speaker, that perhaps we have not had sufficient time to look at the report of the committee. And that members who contributed, and they have a right to, were a bit unhappy with the provisions of the amendment bill. Mr. Speaker, I said I wanted to start this conversation today so that I also put a few things straight, because I have participated in this discussion at the committee level. First of all, Mr. Speaker, what we must all appreciate is that first the report was tabled on June 18th, the last day that we were going on recess. And so perhaps members have not had opportunity to follow on that report. But most importantly, the Speaker, is the fact that the Mother Act, the Kenya Roads Act, predates the Constitution of Kenya 2010. That this act was enacted before the promulgation of the new constitutional dispensation. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, both the classification of roads and the allocation of funds to the roads for maintenance that does not reflect the reality of the new devolved systems of government. So let's start from there, Mr. Speaker. That we are operating under an act that does not recognize devolution. It is blind to devolution. And so, Mr. Speaker, with the new constitutional order, the fourth schedule of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 on the distribution of functions between national government and county governments provides for only 2 levels or 2 classifications of roads. Now, this is where it becomes interesting. That the Constitution of Kenya 2010 recognizes only 2 classifications of roads in the country. The national trunk roads, which are assigned to the national government in Part 1 of the 4th schedule, and the county roads, which are captured under Part 2 of the 4th schedule of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. So, Mr. Speaker, naturally then the national trunk roads will be assigned to the national government, and the rest of the roads will be assigned to county governments. Mr. Speaker, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm a lawmaker. The Constitution is very clear that any piece of legislation that does not accord with the Constitution or runs contrary to any provision of the Constitution, that piece of law is null and void to the extent of the inconsistency with the Constitution. And so any classification of roads under the Kenya Roads Act, which does not recognize that there are only 2 levels of roads, the national trunk roads and the county roads, any provision in that act or any other act that does not recognize that fact is null and void to the extent of that inconsistency. Mr. Speaker, the Kenya Roads Board allocates funds for maintenance, development, and rehabilitation of roads through national road agencies. And we have 3 of them. We have the Kenya Urban Roads Authority, we have the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and the Kenya National Highways Authority. Now, those are the only agencies that are recognized by the Mother Act and that are registered as agencies that can receive direct funding from the Kenya Roads Board. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, counties are not recognized as an agency, a road agency, and they don't receive any direct funding from the Kenya Roads Board. Mr. Speaker, because there is no mechanism for the allocation of RMLF directly to county governments, our committee, Mr. Speaker, has found a way, and I don't want to go to the details of that because in the report and the mover moved, but there is now a consideration by the committee that counties be recognized as agencies that can directly receive funding from RMLF and from the Kenya Roads Boards for the maintenance, for the rehabilitation, and for development of county roads. Mr. Speaker, as it were, county roads or roads classified under county governments constitute more than 70% of our country's road network. But the drafters of this bill in the National Assembly, the amendment, are only proposing 5% of funds to go to counties and 95% to go to the national government. Mr. Speaker, as a committee, and we have had serious, robust engagements on this matter, I heard yesterday members proposing around 15%, others 20%, others 25%. Through a scientific method, Mr. Speaker, the committee is recommending 49% of the monies for rehabilitation, development, and maintenance of roads goes to county governments. And then 51% will go to the national government. Mr. Speaker, I see an attempt in this bill to bring another alien classification of roads being called constituency roads. Mr. Speaker, there is no provision in the Constitution or in law that recognizes any road called a constituency road. There are reasons, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, this bill that came from the National Assembly, we have looked at it at the committee, and I said I need to make this record straight, that the members debate this matter. They know that we have proposed serious amendments. So what we need to, Mr. Speaker, get is assurance from the leader of government business in the House that if this bill passes second reading, it will be available for members to push through amendments in the third reading. Because, Mr. Speaker, I've seen an attempt here by members of the National Assembly to actually increase the allocation to the CDF fund through this roads bill. They want a lot more money for roads to go to the national government, and then because they are the ones responsible for functions relating to the national government, then they will be in charge of the rehabilitation and development of national roads that will have the lion's share of the allocations. So, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to make that clarification very, very clear, that the committee is seized of this matter, and that nobody should have the illusion that by the chairman of the committee moving the motion and tabling the report, there is agreement between us in the committee and the provisions as captured in the bill that has arrived here from the National Assembly. The Speaker, as I conclude, I want to urge my friends, my colleagues, who will be contributing to this bill, to realize that it's a big danger to devolution as we know it if we allow a clawback on the matter of roads. Because, Mr. Speaker, there is now evidence that even when this administration is given an inch, it wants to take a meter. We should not allow this administration to bring alien classifications of roads while we have a Senate that, under Article 96 of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, is supposed to defend and protect the interests of counties and county governments. Mr. Speaker, if it is true, and it is true, 71% of Kenya's roads network is resident in our counties, then, Mr. Speaker, it follows without saying that a lot more allocation for the maintenance and construction and rehabilitation and development of roads, that money should go to county governments. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I'll wait to see how we proceed on this debate and whether then there will be an opportunity at that reading to introduce the amendments that the committee is proposing. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you, Senator Mbua. From my dashboard, there is no other senator who is interested to make any contribution to this motion. Therefore, the mover to reply, that opportunity has been defined. We go to the next order. Honorable Senators, I want to reorganize the order paper this afternoon. Therefore, from order number 11 to 21, these are divisions. So they stand defunct. We go to order number 22. And this order number 22, the debate is ongoing, but I cannot see any interest, Clerk. Okay, proceed.
Order number 22, motion, provision of IFMIS reports for county governments to the Senate. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 15th July 2026, morning sitting.
Honorable Senators, again, there is no interest on this business. Therefore, the mover to reply again has been defunct. Next order.
Order number 23, motion, consideration of a report of the Standing Committee on Health on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Patrick Musilu and others concerning the protection and propagation of the commercialization of the new generation Mudhea antivenom in Kenya.
Committee Chair Health, are you ready? Vice Chair Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move a motion, a report of the Standing Committee on Health on the petition concerning protection and propagation of the commercialization of the new generation Mudhea antivenom in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, committee considered the petition concerning the protection and the propagation of the commercialization of the new generations antivenom in Kenya. The petition was presented by the Patrick Musilu and others, the resident of Munyulu in Machakos County, and was reported to the Senate Thursday, 29 May 2025, and was referred to the committee for consideration. Mr. Speaker, the snake venom remain a serious and often negligent public health demand in Kenya, hardly on poor and rural community in the arid and semi-arid counties. Mr. Speaker, in discharge of this mandate, the committee met with the petitioner, Mr. Patrick Musilu, received his written submissions. The committee further also received a written submission from the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, and Kenya Institute of Primates Research, and Kenya Industrial Property Institute, and Anti-Ethic and Anti-Corruption, and the Commission on Administrative Justice. And the final, we got a submission from the Wildlife Research and Training Institute. Mr. Speaker, the petitioners they have submitted, the petitioners are Patrick Musilu, Mr. Tom Babu and Alfred Basco, describing themselves as a citizen innovator who have spent 5 years working on this new anti-venom. Mr. Speaker, this is traditionally called Muthea. The product is a super valent, affordable and easy to administer, and is backed by the over 100 years of the community, used with no recording death in the county of Machakos and Kwale County. Mr. Speaker, the petitioner traced the grievance to dispute with Kenya Medical Research Institute, KEMRI, official, who in the late 2022 allegedly demanded the 100K for sample analysis while declining to assign non-disclosure or material transfer agreement. They further allegedly unlawful denial of the services, sabotage of their industrial property, and opaque collaborations between the Camry and Watamu-based snake farmer linked to the African snake analysis. The petitioners sought the Senate intervention to protect their rights to research, innovate, and commercialize the antivenom and to investigate alleged criminal conducted by the Camry and the KIPRE and narcotic. Mr. Speaker, the committee considered the petitions and the committee come up with this observation. As we have contacted the stakeholders and the petitioners, the committee observation is one, that the petitioner right to research and innovate and pursue the commercialization is protected under the Article 11, 40, and 43 of the Constitutions. And the Ministry of Health expressly welcomed the local innovations in the snake bite in venom and having invited the petitioners to engage KEMRI and KPRE. Secondly, the petitioners has filed the patent protections, but application number KEP/2022/4326 elapsed upon expiry of the statutory 12-month period, while the application number KE/P/2024/4942 was abandoned for non-compliant with formality requirement. Mr. Speaker, also the committee observed that Ministry of Health confirmed that shillings 100,000 demanded from the petitioner was lawfully standard cost recovery charging applicable to all clients, not an evidence of denying of the service, and there is no credible or sufficient evidence of unlawful denial of the service through impunity or complicity of the government agency as alleged. Therefore, no basis for recommending a separate criminal engagement. Mr. Speaker, also the committee observed that across different agencies indicates the absence of unified framework or guideline document setting out the complete validation process and application fees, responsibles, institutions, and timelines for completion. The absence of this single time bound and costed a pathway to weak inter-institutional collaborations, but does not amount to unlawful denial of the services. Mr. Speaker, also the committee observed through the submission of the petitioners, several petitioners' submission directed at the officer of the different agency containing abusive, deterioratory, and demeaning of the language, including ethical and charging and racially inflammatory content directed at identifiable individuals discharging the official function in Kemri and KPRE and other government agency. Mr. Speaker, also the sixth one of the observation we have observed, while the petitioner's frustration at the slow progress of his initiatives in understandable, his conduct fell below the standard of the good faith and expected of any person engaged in public institution, maybe itself had been material obstacle for constructive engagement he sorted out. The petitioner also alleged allegation that Kemri colluded with Lamu-based snake farmers and African Snakebite Alliance to infringe his formulation is unsupported, with KIPR and describing the alliance as a multi-country research costume, and the Ministry of Health find no evidence on any donor-funded projects involved. Mr. Speaker, finally, the committee make the following recommendation on the petitioner's prayer. The Ministry of Health should, within 60 days of the adoption of this report, convene a structured facilitation meeting bringing together petitioner, Kemri, KPRE, PPB, an acoustic, and finally KPI to agree and issue a single written and costed validation roadmap within a defined milestone, and name the contract officer with the aim of eliminating bioetics and ensuring the petitioner's product is objectively analyzed and protected. Mr. Speaker, the other recommendation which the committee recommend after listening to the consideration of the submission, the written submission, is the petitioners completed the agreed prerequisites and settled the application cost recovery fees. The Kemri and KPRE should commence a laboratory analysis and issue a written result within 90 days of the adoption of this report, so that the scientific merits of the product can be objectively established as a necessary foundation for any commercialization or export ambition. Mr. Speaker, finally, the committee, on behalf of the Standard Committee of Health, I wish to extend my gratitude and committee members of the delegates and commitment and insightful contribution throughout this inquiry. I also thank the petitioner and all stakeholders who provided available inputs during our investigations and considerations. For further appreciation to your office, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the office of the clerk, the Senate, for their continued support in the committee in their mandates. It is now my pleasure, Mr. Speaker, that I move the motion, and I wanted Senator Sigei to second. Thank you.
Senator Sigei.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As I second this motion, I would like to highlight, Mr. Speaker, the provisions of Article 119(1) of the Constitution that provides, and I read, every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including to enact, amend, or repeal any legislation. And sub-article 2 provides that Parliament shall make provisions for the procedure for the exercise of this right. Mr. Speaker, I read that constitutional provision to affirm the constitutional right of the petitioners, and that right which is protected by the Constitution for them to come before this House whenever they have an issue that they feel can seek and obtain redress from this House. Mr. Speaker, it is on that basis that these three gentlemen, Patrick Musilu, Tom Babu, and Alfred Dosso, approached this House in form of a petition, which of course has been moved by the Deputy, or rather Vice Chair of the Committee of Health of this House, that was committed to deal with the petition as was presented by these three gentlemen. All have described themselves as citizens and residents of Wamunyu in Machakos County. And Mr. Speaker, they described themselves as innovators of a non-animal plasma antivenom who have spent 5 years working to commercialize a new generation antivenom derived from the chemically synthesized traditional mudea, also branded SBE Elixir antivenom. And so, Mr. Speaker, when these three gentlemen filed the petition before the Senate, their case is clear. They are saying that we are Kenyans, we have a right to petition the House, and the basis of their petition, Mr. Speaker, is that they have over time attempted to commercialize, to register, to trademark, and to protect their right in this antivenom, which they have named Mudea. And their issue, Mr. Speaker, arose from what they described as a non-unified procedure for recognition of their inventions and innovations, and also what they termed, which of course the committee indeed confirmed, that that is a lawful charge which is provided for in law of Kenya shillings 100,000 as a fee that is payable by such kind of innovators for purposes of the process that they wanted to do, or rather to have KEMRI and other relevant government chemical agencies to deal with, giving them their innovation rights as well as the entitlement to commercialize this particular innovation. And Mr. Speaker, maybe for purposes of the general public and appreciation of this particular petition, Ukambani, which is actually the region they say they come from, is a semi-arid area. And there are quite a number of dry area wild animals, but in this case, we are talking about snakes, and they said that the kind of antivenom that they had discovered would be commercialized if they were allowed to trademark, to brand, and to be given a unified recognition for that purpose. And so in terms of the need for this particular antivenom, Mr. Speaker, it is already known and it's in the public domain that the severe bites or stings by snakes can cause tissue damage, even sometimes death, and especially where you are unable to access immediate medication or even antivenom treatment within a certain timeline. And therefore, Patrick and his team, Mr. Speaker, had the right to seek to commercialize, to seek to register and trademark this particular innovation, according to them. But their problem arose when they got challenges with regards to the amount that was required for purposes of registration, as well as the process that this kind of innovation was required to be subjected to, either in form of testing, in form of confirmation of their viability as well as trademarking to it, because before it goes to the market, it must be registered, must be protected, and must be recognized, both within the relevant provisions of the law. And so they claimed that they had not been supported and that they needed the intervention of this House. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy because I've thoroughly gone through this report. The committee did indeed attempt to make sure that it invite several other government agencies relevant to this particular issue, Mr. Speaker, so that they receive submissions on the subject matter. Those which were invited include submissions of reports by the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife, that is the Kenya Wildlife Services, and also submissions by the Kenya Institute of Primate Research, that is KIPRE. Mr. Speaker, that in itself, when you read the kind of submissions these institutions provide, it gave the committee the comfort in terms of what it deemed in its finding to have been the recommendation appropriate for this kind of a petition. Because the committee acknowledged, Mr. Speaker, that these three petitioners' rights are protected under Articles 11, 40, and 43 of the Constitution. It found out that that particular constitutional protection was not in any way infringed by the process, the directives, and also the modules that the petitioners were required to be subjected through, including the payment of that amount of Kenya shillings 100,000 for purposes of processing their request. And so the committee, in its recommendation, Mr. Speaker, having gone through all those submissions by all these institutions, including KEMRI, and as well as the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, and also the National Commission for Science, Technology and Innovations, known as NACOTSI, and other very relevant institutions. The committee still indeed went ahead to consider the constitutional provisions as well as the statutory provisions, including the provisions by the Health Act 2017, Science and Technology and Innovation Act number 28 of 2013, as well as the Industrial Property Act 2001 and the Industrial Property Regulations of 2002. This, Mr. Speaker, was to inform the committee on the findings that they were to make as to whether or not the rights of the petitioners have been infringed by the relevant government agencies and what remedy was available. And the finding, Mr. Speaker, and the recommendation of the committee was involving these relevant institutions as well as their submissions. And, Mr. Speaker, the committee found that the petitioners were still required or was supposed to complete certain agreed prerequisites that are provided for in the statute, as well as payment of the applicable cost recovery fees, and also commencing the laboratory processes within certain timelines in order for them to claim an entitlement and a right to also have their innovation protected in law. And therefore, they sought to explain and justify that for them to obtain what they termed as scientific merit, that process, that prerequisite procedure must be followed by the petitioners, and they gave the Ministry of Health a period of 60 days within which to adopt these recommendations from the report so that the petitioners are given their right in law and they are protected. And so, Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the work of the committee and the recommendation they have made, including the recommendation to accommodate the petitioners' guests to make sure that their innovation is protected in law. And I hope that the relevant ministry and agencies who will receive this particular recommendation from the report will act within the timeline of 60 days in order to make sure that Patrick and two of his colleagues are also given the window within which to continue with their innovation and to make sure that they are facilitated to have this particular antivenom protected if it qualifies and it meets the threshold that it is provided for in law. I want to laud the chairperson of the committee as well as the vice chair who has moved this particular motion, and appreciate the work that has gone into this report, as I second. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Very well. Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Senate endorse the report of the Standing Committee on Health on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Patrick Musiru and others concerning the protection and propagation of the commercialization of the new generation Modea antivenom in Kenya, laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 17th June 2026. So the floor is open for any senator interested to contribute. We start with the Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to speak to this report. Allow me to begin by commending the Committee on Health, as led by Senator Mandago, the Vice Chair and the members. This is a very good report, and it's a report on an issue that is very, very important. Honorable Speaker, before colonialization, we actually had our own science around how to treat the various diseases, how to deal with the certain issues, including issues like snake bites. Honorable Speaker, when I was a commissioner at CIC, I had opportunity to work with the 3 counties to try and guide them on the human rights approaches to health service delivery. Those 3 counties were Kitui, Bungoma, and Nyeri. And one of the things that I picked that was unique to Kitui was the rampant snake bites within Kitui. And knowing that Kitui is a vast territory, it is one of the places where you have a lot of disabilities on account of snake bites. Honorable Speaker, people of Kitui have then tended, and I guess out of years of learning, have tended to know which herbal interventions are able to help with snake bites. This report, in my view, is a positive issue. It calls on some controversy between the petitioner and our research institutions and the ministry, and I find that the committee has very competently and objectively looked at this issue and made good recommendations that are actually calling on the ministry, the institutions concerned, to seriously consider and look at the Modea innovation, quote unquote, that the petitioners have, and to see how this could be developed into an antivenom. Honorable Speaker, I like the recommendations that they've given. Basically, they are recommendations that are reconciliatory, that are calling, first, they have clearly found out that no rights of the petitioner have been breached in terms of patent rights, but they are also making a recommendation that recognizes that there is opportunity for the country to invest in this finding in order for them to develop an antivenom. Honorable Speaker, this country has invested very little in research. And medical research is one of the areas where we need to invest in. Honorable Speaker, this particular issue is important for countries that come from counties that are arid and semi-arid, where sometimes you have a lot of snakes. But it's not just the counties that are arid and semi-arid. Honorable Speaker, our own worker in Nyakach recently got bitten by a snake during the drought. He went to a kisima, and while he was trying to get the water out, there had been a snake in that well, and he was bitten. We got into a panic, and we consulted, and I was so happy to learn that because of the Professor Anyang' Nyong'o's innovation of using drones to deliver medicines for emergencies, we did not have an antivenom in Nyabondo, which was the nearest hospital that this person was sent to. But in a short while, the antivenom was dropped from Muhoroni using a drone, and this person was able to get treatment in a timely manner. It meant that they were not going to have any of the hand cut off or the fingers cut off because the intervention was not done in good time. So what am I saying? That snake bites are a common phenomenon, an issue we need to deal with, and one of the issues that we need to invest in, and national government needs to invest in the research, so that in a short while we should be able to say from our own local and traditional knowledge and science, we are able to come up with solutions that are much cheaper, solutions that are known, and solutions that can help our people. And I'm asking that, in fact, it is just that I forgot. After that incident that I've talked about, I thought maybe one of the issues we should have an intergovernmental conversation around is the issue of antivenoms and snake bites. Honorable Speaker, you cannot have antivenoms in every area or in every clinic, but the snakes are in every village. So we need to find a way of ensuring that we are able to intervene where people are bitten by snakes in a timely manner without the exercise being extremely expensive. Antivenoms have to be stored under particular temperatures, but you cannot have the necessary tools in every village. So I would want to ask that even as you're speaking, we need to find out how can we centralize, have a national and county government conversation around the issue of developing effective antivenoms, but also let us have a few key points within the regions with adequate storage facilities that are able to keep the antivenom in a potent manner so that whenever there is need to intervene, that they can actually be delivered to the places they need to be delivered to. And I would ask Governor Malombe of Kitui that maybe they can borrow from Senator Anyang' Nyong'o, Governor Anyang' Nyong'o of Kisumu, and also adopt the drone mechanism, knowing very well that Kitui County is number one when it comes to problems with snake bites. So it will be good for them to then have a center that would have potent antivenoms, and one that will then enable them to be able to deliver that antivenom in good time to the vast areas within Kitui, so that the people of Kitui can start getting treatment in good time and to avoid disabilities that come across because of delays in moving somebody who has been bitten to a facility that has the necessary equipment to actually treat the snake bites. So, Honorable Speaker, I just want to congratulate the committee once more and to thank them and to indicate that the issue is not trivial. The issue is serious and is of benefit to every county in this country, and it is something that I would say you need to follow up maybe to see whether you can have a conversation with the Minister for Health, with the relevant research institutions to work while acknowledging the role played by the petitioners, to work with them to enable this country to come up with some of our own local solutions around the snake bites. I support, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Chair. I rise to support this petition. Yes, it's been through our committee of Health. And Mr. Speaker, first of all, is really to appreciate the petitioner, Mr. Patrick Musilu, who comes from the Great Eastern Region. Yes, and as Senator Muma has put it, where I come from, my other motherland, Kitui, is where we have a lot of snake bite issues, Mr. Speaker. The petitioner, before he appeared and petitioned this matter through Senator Okiya Omtatah, he has come across, these particular issues of snake bites. In his capacity, they've tried locally on how to be able to mitigate and do the treatment locally. And it is in his wisdom that he felt that he needs to take this to the next level, Mr. Speaker. And as the petition indicated, he tried to seek different stakeholders' attention to be able to be allowed to produce this particular antivenom medicine in this particular country, Mr. Speaker. And to an extent that he was not able to succeed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a committee, we found it fair and wise that Mr. Musili be given an opportunity. There be a collaboration, a committee that is formed by the Health Ministry that brings about different stakeholders, the KEMRI, Pharmacy and Poisons Board, Mr. Speaker, the KIPI, and other organizations in relation to the research and the medicine production, Mr. Speaker, so that they can be able to also guide Mr. Patrick Musili, because they are the experts, they are the ones with the many tools, the standards that are needed, so that he can be able to be guided on how now can this production of the antivenom be produced. Mr. Speaker, when this is done, of course, the cost will be much cheaper, because the cost currently, because the drug is currently being imported, then the cost is extremely very, very high. But in the local production, first of all, it will create more job opportunities for our people locally. They'll also be, the drug will be much cheaper when it's produced locally. But the bigger goal is that the availability of it will be able to ensure that most of our people are able to, have it and access it cheaply. The only issue, Mr. Speaker, which was quite absurd, a bit, for lack of a better word, is the processing of how to get the venom, Mr. Speaker. It was a bit, uncomfortable in the explanation. I would not lie, because when someone says that he has to rear snakes so as to, extract the venom itself from those snakes, Mr. Speaker, it's not really an easy discussion, because I'm one person who's very, very scared of snakes. But Mr. Musili was able to communicate to the committee that this is the procedure that he's supposed to use. He's supposed to start rearing them and then be able to extract the drug or the medicine, the anti-venom medicine, directly from the snakes, Mr. Speaker. So the best we could do is to advise and recommend that through the Ministry of Health and the other stakeholders, Mr. Spicilli should be given audience through this stakeholder so that he can be able to be further guided, and there be policies and frameworks that should be put in place so that in the process of the production of this particular drug, it will be done in a way that is correct and adheres to the framework and the different policies. So with those and many of you, I really appreciate my colleagues in the committee, and I do support Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Mutinda. There seem to be no other senator who is willing or desiring to further contribute to the petition, and I therefore call upon Senator Mariam to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I appreciate the members who have contributed on this motion. Mr. Speaker, first we have to give an opportunities to our traditional medicines. This is one of them. Because anti-venom is now, we are importing from South Africa, and it is expensive. But if we get this locally, and we have to, it will reduce the issue of the pricing, and also it might even end up that we export to other country. Mr. Speaker, this snake bite is most of them is in arid and semi-arid counties. I'm also in a committee of land and environment and natural resources. Mr. Speaker, there is one of the booklets which show the composition of these snake bites, wildlife, wildlife, people who have victims of the wildlife issues of the snake bites, crocodiles, and many others. Mr. Speaker, and there is no forthcoming of these compositions. To reduce this issue, let's give to our local inventors so that at least they can access the facilities of the research. Because when we realize the submission from the Ministry of Health that they are accommodative, but there is a means of communication. There is a lack of communication between the petitioner and the Camry. Because when they are requesting the 100,000, and the petitioners think that this is a corruption and they wanted to misuse, but later on, we found out that this is the amount is the standard figure which is supposed to be used for the laboratory analysis. So that means that the communication in most of the government institutions is not well being done. So we now engage so that these government offices must communicate to the citizens properly. Mr. Speaker, other stakeholders, all of them, they have welcomed properly. And we want our recommendations to be done immediately after these 60 days which we have given out, so that we can give an opportunities for our citizens. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, pursuant to standing Order 66.3, the request that you defer the putting questions to the later day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Mariam. Putting of the question is hereby deferred to the next sitting of the House. Now, honorable senators, we now, that was order number 23. I will defer order number 24, order number 25, as well as order number 26, notwithstanding the presence of Senator Karen Nyamu, who is supposed to move, she's still undertaking additional consultations, so that order is deferred. Order 27 as well is deferred, 28, 29, and 30 for absence of the movers of those particular motions. So, Honorable Senators, we may now rise. Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 21st of July, 2026 at 2:30 p.m.